Welcome back. Time is 7:45. A new internal ICE memo states that federal immigration officers have the sweeping power to enter homes without a judge's warrant. That's according to a report from the Associated Press. Those officers can now enter homes without prior authorization, a move critics say goes against the Fourth Amendment. Another court also freezing a ruling barring officers from using tear gas and other steps against peaceful protesters.
So joining us now is our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes. And Khalif, I want to start with that memo. For years, immigration advocates and lawyers have said, hey, do not open the door unless ICE agents show you a warrant, right? So this goes completely against that now. This is a big deal.
Yeah, that goes against a number of things. First of all, it goes against the Fourth Amendment protections. And so that would be, I'd say, the major portion of that I would take issue with. But this is specifically narrowly tailored to a few individuals. Even though it can seem like it's talking about everyone, this only applies, and in their internal memo, I'm saying only applies to individuals that have a final removal order in place. So they're not saying that any situation, anytime they're trying to find someone, their memorandum, when I had an opportunity to read it, talks about going after folks that have a final removal order. Additionally, it gives location and time frame things, saying that only between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m., only after you knock and identify yourself and explain the purpose. So not these no-knock entry things that we've seen in the past where folks have been killed, not going in at 3 o'clock in the morning. And so they recognize that there's some parameters that need to be in place. But I still think there's going to be legality, constitutional issues with them attempting to do this right here. This was signed by the director, ICE director, May 12th of 2025. So this is something that is not really new, but it's just leaked out to us. It was an internal person, whistleblower, that leaked this out, that this is the new guidance that they've been following. And we've seen it happen. We've seen it in Minneapolis. We've seen it in other states where they're going in using battering rams to get into folks' houses to get them, which would seem to be conflicted with the Fourth Amendment.
When you look at this ruling, Khalif, what does this tell you about the balance between public safety and civil liberties?
I think that the Trump administration, like they've been doing the entire time, are pushing the limits to try to find ways to get to the end result, which President Trump had said he wants to do. If you want to have the largest deportation in history, then you're going to have to find ways to get to people. And this is a different approach. It's saying that I'm going to get as close to that line as violating your Fourth Amendment rights as I can. And this is something that historically has been there. You got to remember what an administrative warrant is, because that's what they're saying they're using. They're not going to get judicial warrants. They're getting an administrative warrant. That comes from a supervisor. That's an internal agency. That would be like CMPD saying, I want to get a warrant to arrest you, and I'm going to go get my sergeant or my lieutenant to give me a warrant, and then I can get you. Whereas the chief magistrate of Mecklenburg County, former, I recognize how important it is to go to a judicial official. The officers would come to me. They would tell me the case, and then either I would sign an order for arrest or I would decline to sign a warrant and an order for arrest. That process is extremely important in the judicial step, because you want those folks that are on the one side of the law to be blocked off, to be shielded off by an independent person in the middle to make an objective decision, not subjective, and then be able to go based on what the law says, not based on what their feelings are.
So it's still a warrant, it's just an administrative warrant.
It is.
As you're talking about, there's a difference of checks and balances between a judicial warrant and administrative. Khalif, I do want to talk about the other topic there as well. We know the court now putting that ruling on hold, saying that the ICE agents can't use tear gas, so that means they're allowed to go back to business as usual until this matter has its day in court?
Yeah, I mean, this was a preliminary injunction that was placed late last week, earlier this week, that limited their ability to use tear gas. And if this is for folks that were just observing, people that were just watching.
Peaceful protesters.
Peaceful protesters. But I'm going off of what the judge's language was, that specifically peaceful protesters and bystanders and observers were folks that were being targeted, and information that was submitted during the case stated that this is who they were targeting. And so they were limited to just, only going after people that were being disruptive or attempting to stop them in the process of arresting someone. So yes, we will have to wait, but ACLU will continue to fight that case, because that's who originally brought the claim there already.
Okay, again, our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes, weighing in on that for us. Khalif, thank you.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.